Well, going into a movie that I think, I guess I would give it the same vein that like anybody could watch it and find enjoyment in it. I'm going to talk about Abe, a movie that I really did not know about until you told me about it. Abe is a comedy drama directed by Fernando Grosstein and Rade. The movie stars Noah Schnapp from Stranger Things, and it tells the story of a 12-year-old boy named Ibrahim, or Abe as he likes to be called, and his love for cooking. But his half-Jewish Israeli and half-Muslim Palestinian family falls apart while he finds his interest in cooking. So he tries to use food to bring them together. So for me personally, I love cooking shows. I love baking shows. I love anime about cooking, and I also love cooking myself. So
there's
movies,
anime about cooking?
Oh, there's plenty, but yeah, there's one in particular, Food Wars. It's the best.
All right, sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good. I was hoping you would ask about that, just for me to plug that show.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
But yeah, I love movies around cooking as well. I think it just appeals to me. There's something about the look of food on TV that just looks so appetizing and so appealing. But also, I think it's a thing of watching people and their passions. Like it's similar to how I was about like movies like Ed Wood or Disaster Artist or Once Upon a Time in Uganda, where you see people who are so passionate about something, so you really want you're enjoying the experience of watching them thrive in it. So with Abe, seeing him talk about cooking and actually cook and go around New York to try food and understand the I guess quote unquote chemistry of making food, you love to see it. It's like, to use that quote, you just love to see it. So when he finds Chico, who runs this Brazilian restaurant in New York, I think they say it's in Harlem, and you see like him finding an interest in this kid and bringing him along, and at first he starts out as like a dishwasher and he's just cleaning in the back, but he at least is like in the facility of cooks. It makes you feel good. It feels like like when you get your first internship and you're like, wow, I'm in it. I'm like actually like working for a company. This is cool. It's funny because like his life in the kitchen with Chico is such a stark contrast to his life at home. His life at home is filled with stressed out parents, bickering grandparents, and two totally different religious cultures that are trying to make him choose a side. And it's only further complicated by the fact that his father, who was raised Muslim, is an atheist and chose to raise his son as an atheist and just say like, hey, like this is our family lineage, but believe in nothing. It will make things simpler. Whereas his mother was raised Jewish, and I believe they don't really talk about it as much, but I'm pretty sure she's still connected to the faith. And for him, he just wants to bring the family together, so he's like, I want to go to mosque, I want to do this and that, and I also want to have a bar mitzvah, like I want to do all of this. And they're just like, that's not how this works. From the moment we meet the family, they're bickering at each other over dinner at his birthday, no less, and it just makes everything sour. Like whenever the two families meet up, it's just a sour mood because it's like that classic thing of somebody bringing up politics at Thanksgiving, and everybody starts arguing, and you're like, wow, why can't we just watch TV and shut up? It's like that anytime they're together. And even when he's hanging out with each family separately, like say he'll hang out with his dad's family or his mother's family, he'll mention one thing of like, oh yeah, like I didn't fast today, and they're like, why are you fasting? Like, we're Jewish, you don't need to do that. Or it's like, hey, I had pork today. You had pork? What? So it's stuff like that. And every time you can see how it's bogging down on this kid, and he just wants his family to be happy. And every time he tries, there's always some pushback, whether it's from his parents themselves or it's from his grandparents. And deep down, if there's the one constant between each family, it's that they all love food. While they might not necessarily be like professional chefs, they love food. And I think everybody loves food. We need food. It's like the one thing that can bring us all together to at least sit down at a table, you know what I mean? And I think it's the one unison that anybody can have. That's why a lot of people, when they like have meetings, they do it over food. Hell, we used to do that at work all the time.
I miss that.
Dude, the good old days.
I was thinking about Glory Days the other day.
Rest in peace.
I know.
But if anything, there's one thing I think that holds the movie the strongest. It's the relationship between Abe and Chico. Chico is played by Sue Jorge, who you might recognize from you've seen City of God, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's Knockout Ned. He's also in
okay.
What's it called?
We saw him in something else recently.
Oh my god, what's the movie? The Wes Anderson movie with the submarine.
Oh, Life Aquatic.
Yeah, thank you. Life Aquatic. He's in there as well. Which I completely forgot about. I haven't seen that movie in years. But he's so good in this movie. For one, he just oozes cool. Like, the moment he comes on screen, you're like, this is a cool dude. I like this guy. At first he's like a little iffy about Abe. He's like, I'm not running a daycare. I can't, like, watch you over, kid. But, he catches him. I think he's able to taste something that he was making, and immediately know, like, this needs a little bit of salt, or like, hey, like, that's sriracha, yada, yada. And he's like, you know what, kid, you're alright. You kind of know your stuff. And also, I guess I gotta give praise to Noah Schnapp. The only thing I've ever seen him in is Stranger Things. I know you watched Waiting for Anya earlier this year. But Stranger Things for me was where I was introduced to him, and actually also the Peanuts movie. He played Charlie Brown. Forgot about that.
Did he?
But, yeah, he did. I did not know that till like this year. But he's really good in Stranger Things. That I think would show some of his more dramatic acting chops through certain things that he has to go through in that show. But as well as this movie, there are scenes where like he really has to pull his weight when his family stress is really getting to him to the point where he doesn't want to be around his family anymore, and he sells it really well. It's more towards the end of the movie, but you really feel it. You really feel bad for this kid, and he lives a life where his parents are always arguing, and then his mom will come into the room and say like, "Sorry, you have to hear it." It's like, okay, well if you're so sorry, then stop doing it. Right. And I know parents gotta argue, but it's like time and place, dude. Like it's like 12 o'clock at night. I'm still awake. So, seeing him thrive in something that he's really interested, you feel good for the kid, and he sells that really well. And if anything, you start to hate his family after a while just because they won't listen to him. It's one of those things where they put their own preferences before the kid's preference, and because they're so uncompromisable until the point where it's too late, it drives you insane. But yeah, this movie, we've talked about this before, how like I've been to New York, and there are many times where I'm like, oh my god, like New York's too stressful for me. I don't think I could ever move there. This movie low key made me want to go to New York again.
Did Uncut Gems not?
Oh, definitely not. Absolutely not. No, this shows like the brighter side of New York, where it's the foodie side of me that I love, where you're going to like the small restaurants and trying like this like niche food that nobody else is making, but it's like super good and you want everybody to know about it, or you go to a food truck. It's the kind of movie, this movie, where it makes you feel sad even more about Corona, because a lot of these businesses who have these small little like restaurant shops who can't necessarily become considered essential, or aren't making as much money as they used to and are struggling right now, it makes you feel sad because it's like, dag, we're going to lose a lot of places like this, like Chico's shop. And it kind of makes you want to go out and like find these people and say like, what can I do to help? Like, like what can I do to help support you, or at least like, help you make your way through this whole thing. But yeah, this movie is really good. It really makes you feel good, and it shows the stresses that, I guess in a way, religion or lack of religion or anything like that in differing families can put on a kid. And it's something that like I don't think I've ever really seen before in any other movie. But it also shows that like food can bring people together, and I think that's something that isn't really talked about as much as it used to be. But like food is the end all be all conversation starter, and the end all be all feel good thing that anybody can enjoy. So I really, really like this movie, and I think everybody should check it out. So I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5.